This is Listen Up. My name is Bradley Hoppenstein with Jordan Roberts to my left. The Rams are now 10-1 on the season, looking quite dominant in the NFC. Jordan, how far will the Rams go this season?
I believe the Rams are going to go to the NFC Championship game where they're ultimately going to lose to the New Orleans Saints. The Rams are an excellent football team. Clearly, I think the top three teams in the NFL right now, no particular order to this, are the Saints, Rams, and the Chiefs. And we saw the Rams beat the Chiefs in an absolute shootout, one of the greatest games I've ever seen last Monday night, 54-51. That was definitely the best Monday Night Football game ever. That is 100% for sure. The Rams are an interesting team because they have two MVP candidates on offense, and Jared Goff and Todd Gurley, who Jared Goff has been absolutely unbelievable. He lost his main weapon, and I'd say with Cooks and Kupp, obviously Cooks is a speedster. They got him from New Orleans. Yeah. He is a main weapon on the team, but I think Kupp was truly the heart. He was excellent route runner. He was a guy that really wasn't supposed to be as successful, and he was really, really performing, especially on that Thursday night game against the Vikings. He performed throughout the season. So when they lost him to an ACL, that was a problem. But they're also very potent on defense. They got Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters from Kansas City and Denver. They also got Sue from Miami this past offseason. They also just got an in-season trade for Dante Fowler Jr. from the Jaguars, who was a first-round pick from UF. And this kid, Samson Ebukam, has really come on, as we saw in the Chiefs game with his 2 defensive touchdowns. But ultimately, I think their defense has really been underperforming, and they're not living up to the names that they have on it. And I think a team like the Saints with offensive weapons like Kamara, Breeze, who is now the NFL all-time leader in passing yards, and I think my personal MVP for this season, Michael Thomas, as I said, Kamara, Ingram. This new kid, Traquan Smith, is an absolute baller. Benjamin Watson at the tight end spot. I think they're just going to be too much for that defense to handle.
So I think with the Rams, they're obviously going to get the first-round bye, then win the divisional game, and then face the Saints in the NFC Championship and lose ultimately to the Saints. The Rams, I think, here's what you have. You have a very inexperienced and a very young team. Sean McVay is young himself. Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, all of them only saw the playoffs for the first time last year. You saw the inexperience come out. They ended up losing to Atlanta. Now, here's the thing. You see Sean McVay and the Rams signing all these veteran guys, all these experienced players in the offseason, almost as his type of insurance that the Rams, even if the young guys choke or show their inexperience in some way in the postseason, that the veterans that they sign will almost be enough to push them forward, if you know what I mean. But I think overall, when you have such a young quarterback in Jared Goff, it's his third year now, Sean McVay is second-year head coach. All these factors just weighing into each other. I think that the Rams in the end will only win one playoff game because their insurance will push them through that one playoff game, but in the end lose to the Saints.
A much more experienced team, more experienced quarterback with a much more experienced head coach, Super Bowl champion head coach.
I think the Rams in the end. I don't think Jared Goff is going to have a great playoff stint. I don't think Todd Gurley is going to put up the numbers we expect him to. I think in the end, the inexperience is going to show, and it's going to be the veteran players that they signed in the offseason, like Brandon Cooks and Ndamukong Suh. Even Aaron Donald to a huge deal. He's really showing some maturity at this point of his career, and it's those types of players that will keep the Rams in the playoffs and probably push them to win one game. But in the end, I think they'll lose to the Saints
are too much
in the NFC Championship. I mean, the Saints are too much for anyone, but we'll get to that later.